remember what your old past said. Boy, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got trouble, and I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, see it through, 'cause you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Now, some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, big and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Son, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You got troubles, then I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, we can see it through. 'Cause you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. Just me and you, babe. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. Just remember what your old pal said. Son, you've got a friend in me. We stick together, we can see it through. 'Cause you've got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. Just me and you, babe. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Yeah.
Hey chat, hi, it's me, it's your boy, me again, back here with the tabletop sim. Just kidding, we're gonna be playing some Jigsaw puzzles today. Wow, what a chapter. I feel like I say that every single time I join one of these streams. What a chapter. We're gonna...
That's nice.
It is nice. Very nice. We're gonna go ahead and, oh, you again. Oh, that is really cool. Hey, YT Plex, welcome. We're gonna be playing some Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams today. If you guys want to join me, the game is free. It's on Steam. It is a free game. You can join the multiplayer. The room code will be on stream. And let's select today's puzzle. Or oh no, we don't want to do a random puzzle. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Boschettios. Chat, we're having a little oopsie right now. The game is having a little bit of a breakdown. Here we go. Public. Unlisted. I can't believe... Paulo said Sue was right. I always knew it. Like, guys, how much more evidence do you need before you finally see the truth? It's kind of unhinged how people are so blind to this, but whatever. I have a lot of thoughts about this chapter, and not all of them are necessarily negative. I do think this chapter falls... So this chapter, it's December, right? That's what this chapter is. It's December. And it falls short of December in many ways, but I think Teshi has something she's cooking that is supposed to even things out between Mike and Lucy. I've talked about this many times in the BCB Fanel Discord. You can check that out in the link in the description of this stream. I will also be talking about it in the video that I've already started writing for this chapter, but essentially the idea is that Lucy has already told Mike that she doesn't like him anymore, right? And I know that they had talks since then, but I think not that it isn't understandable for Lucy to get super vindictive right now over Mike, now that she's like kind of getting a W or whatever. But I think the point is that Lucy is going to take things too far now that the Decembering is over for Mike, right? So the idea is that Mike, when he was avoiding Lucy, and he, even in December, even after December, Mike never actually told any of his friends to avoid Lucy. He never encouraged anyone to stay away from her. He never discouraged people interacting with her or reaching out. Now that could be due to his arrogance of like, oh, they're just gonna leave her anyway. But he never actively tried to sabotage Lucy's relationship with her other friends. What Lucy's going to do is that she's essentially going to try to actively sabotage Mike's relationship with any of his other friends, and if you dare try to even talk to Mike, then fuck you, you're a piece of shit. I think, and now obviously this is the wrong way to behave in this situation. Lucy's supposed to be the one that's on the back foot right now, right? But if she immediately takes a mile, you know, you give her an inch, she takes a mile or whatever, then that's supposed to be the trade-off, I think. I think that's where the line gets crossed, right? Because it's called line in the sand. And clearly Lucy might cross that line in the sand where it's like, he's already down, and now you're trying to remove his entire support network away from him, right? Some people will say that this is deserved. Understandable. I know a lot of people still really hate Mike, and it is understandable, by the way. Mike is as of right now, is a wholly unsympathetic person. A very unsympathetic character. I know a lot of people don't like that, but it is true. as far as where Mike and Lucy are concerned, so as far as where Lucy was when December happened and Mike is right now, or leading up to Line in the Sand, Mike is way less sympathetic than Lucy is. Mike at any point along the way could have solved all of his problems because he knew what his problems were and he just is ignoring them, right? He's trying to pretend like it's not there. I.e., specifically talking about just breaking things off with Sandy and going about his life like that. And even before at this point, right? Even before like him going outside and that whole kerfuffle. Mike is literally the cause. I mean, also Lucy also is the cause of her own problems with Mike. Leading up to December, but the thing is that it's been made clear, or is very obvious that Lucy does have mental health issues. I wish the comic outside of the PTSD, I mean specifically like BPD and shit like that. Like Teshi has talked about Lucy having that issue. Never in the comic itself, which is a problem, and I know that you shouldn't rely on like stuff that like we shouldn't have to rely on the word of God to understand everything in the comic. Like Teshi should make that clear in the world of the comic itself, but it is clear that Lucy does have some sort of BPD, and that is also still a problem that has gone unchecked, by the way. But that was what was causing her to behave the way that she was. Now, her behavior is not okay. It's not good that she was acting like that. People always like to bring that up when I say that shit, too. Like, oh, well, with Lucy acting like that, it always makes it okay then. I'm like, it doesn't make it okay. I'm not saying it makes it okay, but I'm saying that she has less agency than Mike does. Mike has full agency over the fact he took Sandy back. And he even knows that it was a bad decision because he said that he's an idiot and that it was a bad decision. And yet he kept doing it. That's why Mike isn't as sympathetic. So why should we care that this Decembering happened to Mike? Right? By all intents and purposes, not that it made anything better, but like... I do want to preface this by saying that obviously, much like how Mike was misrepresenting things to Lucy in December, Augustus is misrepresenting things in front of James. And also the other thing, actually no, Mike did have his freak out in front of his whole class. Like I can't even really say like, oh, well, Mike didn't December Lucy in front of all their friends. But he did freak out in history class when the teacher was like or he thought that him and Lucy were going to be on the same group project thing together. So I can't, it's not like fully one-to-one still, but it's also like people will use that as a defense. But obviously Augustus is misrepresenting things. He's also like things that he just doesn't know about fully, or he's just a bunch of guesswork. I sincerely hope that's the play, by the way, because one, Mike absolutely did misrepresent things with Lucy when he was yelling at her in December. But two, the things that Augustus are claiming that Mike was doing are, you can go back and read volume 1 and see that this is objectively not true. Like, there is a way that you can twist that into being like true, but it's not really true. If Mike was disloyal, like that would, like the argument that Augustus is making is that Mike is disloyal, which he is not, right? Mike is not disloyal. He's in fact loyal to a fault, and so is Paulo to a degree. Specifically when it comes to Sandy, right? But the moment that Mike learns that him and Sandy are in a relationship, that's when he slowly starts turning against Lucy, one. So and two, it's he like doesn't pursue Lucy romantically after that. Especially once Lucy admits her feelings for him, he really starts to avoid her instead of going like, maybe I can get a little bit of a two-time. If Mike really was a two-timer in the way that Augustus is representing it, then that's what he would have done. But he didn't do that. Now, I have been wrong before, and I sincerely hope that this isn't Teshi trying to soft retcon the comic again, because this would be like the third or fourth time this volume that she has tried to do that. But we will see. But my theory is that Lucy was sympathetic leading up to December and during December, but will become unsympathetic after the events of Line in the Sand. While Mike, he was somewhat sympathetic leading up to December because he was right about all the abuse. The way things were executed, obviously not good. But Mike is unsympathetic leading up to Line in the Sand, but will become sympathetic because of the way Lucy starts acting. I think that's what Teshi is going for. I feel in my giblets this is not her intent, because why would you do something like that? Like, it's just like what I would think to do, right? If she wants to balance things out like she tries to do, then you have to, like, I don't know. You have to, like, sometimes make characters you don't like sympathetic. Anyway, that's just a bunch of rambling, though. I've already started writing the script for it, so we'll see. We will see. At the very least, Paulo x Sue is still on the table, because Paulo completely ignores Lucy, and I know people will make the argument it's because he doesn't want her to bring up what he said. He's trying to, like, brush that under the table. Hopium core? It's not hopium, it's true. It's not hopium, it's the truth. He completely ignores Lucy and says Sue is right. Now, that's based. They're gonna go make out after school, I'm pretty sure. Paulo's gonna, like, this is what's gonna happen. Paulo's gonna go to Daisy and he's like, look, we have to keep this a secret from Abby, and the best way to do that is to, like, for us to pretend we're, like, dating or interested in other people. Then Paulo's gonna get interested in Sue. He's gonna, like, kiss up to her so she'll, like, go along with it. And then he'll actually end up getting feelings for her. And she'll actually end up getting feelings for him. But then the walls will come tumbling down, and she'll learn the terrible truth that Paulo was actually just pretending the whole time so that Abby wouldn't suspect him and Daisy being together. Oh, also he's gonna tell Abby that, or tell Daisy, or tell Sue that him and Daisy broke up, because she already knows that they're together. But she's gonna find out the terrible truth. No, how could this happen? She's heartbroken. She's like, of course Paulo would do this. He's such a jerk. And she's gonna run away. She's gonna be crying. But Paul's gonna feel, he's like, no, I actually have a lot of feelings for her. And I don't want her to cry. And I like her more than stinky old Daisy, who's boring and dumb. And then he's gonna go to her and he's gonna be like, oh, I love you so, I actually really do like you a lot. And I think I do want to, I want to stay with you. I don't want to be with Daisy anymore. She's not gonna believe him. She's like, shut up, Paul, I'm not believing your lies anymore. He's like, no, I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove it to you that how much I care about you. And then he's gonna do something. Since Teshi likes her poetry, what she's gonna do is she's gonna have Paulo take her hand and say, I love Susan. And that's gonna be what's gonna happen. And then Daisy will get back with Abby or something. I don't know. I don't care. She can do whatever she wants. Just as long as it's not with Paulo. Say what you will about Paisley. Just don't say it to me or anyone else. But Lucy is definitely locking in right now. If there ever was a time that any one character in this comic locked in, it's like right now. That's the locked in pose with the hands like that. That's locked in right there. She's not just locked in, she is the lock, right? She's straight up the lock. Also, yes. So what happened is that I saw this on Reddit, and I did make a post on here about it. I didn't credit the Redditor, but like it's still like just in the comic. It's not like a meme they made. Paulo says 6-7 in New Year's resolution. Not that I'm like into the 6-7 meme, but it is very funny. It's like actually the funniest thing ever. Look how locked in she is. Her cheekers are on full cheek. They've never cheekered as hard as they are cheekering right now. Who can blame her? You know? The cheekers are in full flare. You know how cobras have like the flare that they put up when they're trying to be territorial? That's what Lucy's cheekers are. They're like the cobra flares. Wow, putting this table together is going to be kind of miserable, actually. What's going to happen to Mike? Is he going to try to kill himself? Probably. It's kind of lame that Teshi's going to use that same plot point twice. But I don't know that, actually. She might not. But if Teshi really does try to use that same plot point twice, then, like... Come on. Mike should find a shorter building to jump off of, though, so I don't have to make another video, which hasn't come out yet, about how Mike definitely would not have survived jumping off that building. Or maybe he'll actually die. Maybe that's how Bittersweet Candy Bowl ends. Mike actually just fucking kills himself. And then, when everyone's like... And then that's when everyone finds out that things were not what they seemed. And that they were all mistaken about Mike. And then they feel really bad. But Mike's like actually dead now. Mike gets sent to the fan character realm. Lucy's important. Faker words have never been spoken. Just kidding. Lucy's missing her pupil. How is she meant to see? Speaking of seeing, I went to the eye doctor today. I'm going to get some new prescription glasses in the next 2 weeks. I think they said December 8th was when I was going to get them. So that is something to look forward to. I know that sounds like a weird adulting thing, but it is nice to be able to see. Because if your vision gets like blurry, like even if you have the glasses, if it's still like a little it can give you headaches. It can make you feel dizzy. Not like dizzy, but like, you know, off balance. It just makes it hard to see in general. The eye strain also is not good. We need to find the back of Lucy's ears. I think this is one of her ears. Yep, there it goes. Also, Daisy's going to be the Mike simp. Maybe Daisy and Mike will end up together. Honestly, that would make more sense than Daisy and Paulo. It would actually make more sense. Also, Daisy's looking extra fat here. Maybe Teshi took all everyone complaining that Daisy didn't actually look fat to heart. Listen, guys. Sue knows not what she says. It's something I've had, like, ideas about, that I might actually end up writing as, like, a story. I have so many Paulo X Sue stories. It's fucking unreal. Like, it's almost, like, parodic at this point. And maybe a bit much. I feel like people have gotten to the point where, like, alright, Rob, we get it. You like that ship. We get it. But they're just so much fun to write. They're just so much fun to write. Anyway, the point is that Sue needs to realize that Lucy actually does not give a shit about her. Sue keeps trying to make this friendship with Lucy work, and it just... This could also be a thing where Lucy is only going to be friends with these people so long as they do what she says. Like, what if she just comes back and becomes tyrannical? Now, that would be interesting. That would be an interesting way to take this. Teshi won't do that because Lucy never does anything wrong ever. But it would be an interesting direction to take the comic. To have Lucy just become a tyrannical bitch. Like, to all of her friends. Like, just as bad as Mike was. It reminds me of the quote from the end of, what's the movie? I swear I'm gonna remember in just a second. Mike was right, yeah. You're gonna make a deal with that diabolical bitch. It's from the end of The Hateful Eight. You're gonna make a deal with that diabolical bitch? That's a good movie, The Hateful Eight. I highly recommend. What was it you said, Paulo? Skibbity dum dum dum, yes, yes? That's what you said? Can't believe Paulo's gonna sell his morals out for Lucy. Actually, he's not. He's selling them out for Sue, which is kind of based. I see. That's the power Sue has over this guy. He literally can't say no. Except for the times that he did. Guys, can you believe they're announcing Half-Life 3? I can't believe we're gonna get Pew before Half-Life 3. That's crazy. Was this supposed to be like Paulo's head or something? Also, it's kind of insane how quickly James turned on Mike for like some guy that he doesn't even know. Oh, some liquid went down the wrong pipe. Alright, we need Paulo's mouth. Or, like, his neck. He can't eat. He cannot swallow. And believe me, chat, Paulo always swallows. That's terrible. I don't know why I thought that would be funny to say. I'll never say that again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to destroy this VOD. I'm gonna have to destroy my computer. I'm gonna have to remove my voice box and never speak again. Oh wait, this is that was his head. Okay, so we need a line. Is that the line I'm looking for? The last few pages of the comic got you real angry. Why are you upset? Why would they make you angry? It's based. I don't know, it's not a fan of it. I can sense a second ketchuping coming on. Yeah, I mean, I really hope Teshi doesn't dig back into that well. And just, like, reuse a plot point, but, you know, she likes her poetry. Because it loses the impact, right? When you do the suicide thing a second time, it loses the impact. Not that suicide is never... Not that suicide can be not serious, like, obviously. But you already did this with one of your characters, so we need to do it with the other one, because then people are just going to see it as Mike attention-seeking. Oh, Lucy tried to kill herself, and now you try to do the same thing. You know, get a new shtick, find a new way to harm yourself. I think Mike should just run away. I genuinely think Mike should just run away. Not tell his parents nothing. Tell his friends nothing, just run. Just like, I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna find somewhere else to be. And just, you know, be cold. Wait, doesn't Lucy go right here? There we go. Say the word. Don't say it, Paulo. Don't say it. Bruv, that was the last piece. Oh, sorry. Paulo, don't say it. She's trying to get you. She's gonna record it and put it on Twitter. You're gonna get canceled. The tragedy of the video I'm gonna make for Line in the Sand is that it's not gonna be popular with the people that watch my videos, but it would be popular with the people that don't watch my videos. Isn't that funny? I still have to be true to myself, but like, it's ironic. People in the Patreon comments are already saying don't go to the Reddit. I haven't really been paying attention to the Reddit. We might actually pull that up in a second. Or once we're done with this puzzle. We'll see what's going on with the Reddit. Well, I'll pull up another puzzle for us to work on, and then I'll pull up the Reddit. And we'll see what's going on there. Actually, I'll vet the Reddit to make sure there's, like, actually nothing bad on there. You know, people can post some stuff. Like, even Suitcase has taken notice of the Reddit. Like, that's how crazy this shit's gotten. By the way, that video about what if Lucy got pregnant fucking blew the fuck up. People were, like, really interested in whether or not what would happen if Lucy got pregnant. Maybe I should make videos about what if other characters got pregnant. You know? That's what the people want to see. We could find some other cats or dogs to impregnate. It sounded horrible. That was awful. I'm seeing a lot of what if Mike died in that cliff? Thank God. Honestly. Wow, I'm seeing a lot of really unfunny jokes this stream. It's gonna be, you know what? I want someone to do a Fanel stream out of context compilation. And just, like, have all the worst things I've ever said in a stream. Paulo is missing his entire chest, dude. His whole diaphragm is gone. Like, how is he supposed to breathe? You think Mike is going to start listening to Papa Roach? If Mike tries to kill himself, I will use that song in the video. BSB Reddit started getting pushed a lot in the Reddit algorithm, and a lot of people are on Team Mike. Yeah. Well, it's because they're presenting it in a certain way. Like I talked about earlier on in the stream, I don't think Mike is very sympathetic. At least right now. Blood thinks he's Werther. I don't know what that is. Like, you mean Werther's original? I don't think Mike is very sympathetic right now. Not saying that he obviously not saying that he deserved to have Augustus pull up on his dick like that, but you know, Augustus should obviously have said something to him instead of ignoring it. Oh, that goes right there. Never mind. You're right, Sue. See? Look at this. That's all this is all Sue has ever wanted to hear him say. Dude. It's gonna be freaking waterfalls down there right now. Sue's gonna be freaking... She's gonna be like, oh my god. That's so hot. And then Daisy's gonna get all uppity like a dum-dum. Oh! You wanna know what? Daisy's the only person here that knows Sandy cheated on Mike. She's the only one that knows that Sandy cheated on Mike. Oh wait, no, Augustus knows that. Okay, never mind. Well, Augustus doesn't care. I don't know why Augustus gives so much a shit about Lucy. Like, why? I don't know. It's Lucy Space. She gets wrecked con. She's gonna go make out with Mike again. They're gonna form a toxic relationship where they just make out at lunch. And then it's gonna be like that one BCI where Paulo and Lucy get together. Or like, there's many of those, but like the one where Lucy's like, I'm still thinking about Mike. That one, I do want to do a BCI tier list video. And not a stream, but like a tier list talking about all of them where I think they rank. But that one was really good. It, like, Teshi is a good writer. She just is frustrating sometimes. Which is to say a lot of the time. Whoa, we did it! I'm gonna load up another puzzle, guys. So don't touch those dials. We still haven't finished this one, really? Hold up. I'm going to... Manual. Was this one... Why are some of these not completed when they were completed? Alright, we'll do this one. Alright, guys. Let's pull up the Reddit. Let's pull up the Reddit and see what's going on. Because I do have the BCB Reddit on speed dial. Let's see. Here it is. I used to post on there a lot, but... Alright. Actually, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to have... Okay, that's not it. Puzzle. I'm going to have this playing at the bottom of the screen. And then I'm going to pull up... Donde? Donde, please! Okay. There. So this is a new page. Felt like this was applicable. Oh no. Calligrapher fart. I really hope this is not. BCB Chud. Wow. I also haven't checked the Reddit yet. Or not the Reddit, the thread, the BCB 4chan thread. I hope, yeah. Let's just, oh my god. It's been very active. Let's go to, new. 0 comments. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Is this... Were you guys able to load into the game properly, by the way? It says you guys are in here. Alright. Let's see. So this is the most recent page. When I die, I want Paul to lower me into my grave so that he can let me down one last time. It's pretty interesting that she's unambiguously framed as a villain now. I guess the Jendo pose earlier was not accidental. The fuck is Jendo pose? Oh, it's a weeb thing. Yeah, I told you this is the direction it was going. Yes, I'm playing. Both Mike and Lucy have taken their turns as the villain. No one is always good or always bad. The complex characters, now they change over time, is one of the best parts of the comic. There is a way to do this. I don't know if BCB always sticks the landing on this one. Because you do need to have characters to root for. You need to have characters that you can be like, alright, this is a good person. Or a wholly good person. Because bad people can do good things. And good people can do bad things. And so you need to make clear this person is wholly good or wholly bad. And I don't know if BCB does that great all the time. Let me adjust the puzzle real quick. There. Oh, no. I don't want to do that. 2 steps away from crashing out. This is the guy we were counting on to help Mike. If Daisy stays at the table in the next page, I might just give up on this comic. See you next page. The Mike torture is getting very old right now, and it doesn't seem like Teshi is going to stop it anytime soon. Teshi said Lucy and Augustus are next to pay. Can she stop torturing the cat? This is the other issue that BCB has. This is like a general issue, especially recently with the comic. it is miserable, right? I assume Augustus is coming back into play, but like, not Augustus, Alejandro is coming back into play, but BCB has just been miserable to read recently. Am I the only one that's felt that? Like, I don't want to give anything away, but I've been working. I won't give it away. But the point is that it's just like you can have these conflicts but not be miserable. See, such a frustrating page, but it looks like Vero is portraying Lucy in a malicious light, which rarely happens. The thing is that, yeah, okay, true, actually true. That alone gives me a tiny bit of hope for Paulo redemption / Daisy intervention, etc. But man, I can't believe Paulo folded, especially after the way she's treated him since Double Down. No, he's actually just agreeing with Sue. He doesn't say Lucy's right. He's saying Sue is right. It's very, you gotta read the comic. Gotta read the comic. Apologize right now. Yeah, this is toxic, guys. You should definitely stay away from this from the Reddit. It's very bad. This is very toxic people. And I'll show you what I'm referencing too. Give me a second. This is what I'm referencing. Oh God, are you kidding? It's gonna do this shit to me. Actually, I'm just gonna have this in the bottom corner of the stream. Reddit Mike fans, for your health, don't go to the Bittersweet Candy Bowl Reddit. That place is rancid. This is rancid. I know, like, people like to make fun of the official BCB Discord and the Patreon and say that it's like a hug box, but sometimes people say stuff and I'm like, damn, you genuinely have no idea what you don't even know. Daisy, you're our last shot here to keep Mike sane. Ditch this fool. True. If this is what breaks Paisley up, then please do it. Like, I actually beg of you. Damn, 2 different counts of serious character regression in 1 page. I'll save my thoughts for the chapter as the whole for the last page, but I would say almost every other story, this is the point where a character becomes a hated villain. Pretty hard to defend Lucy or Paul's spinelessness after reading this. No, see... Do you mean... Okay, never mind. They don't mean Lucy's spinelessness. I was like, Lucy is not being spineless right now. She's being very spineful. She has extra calcium in her bones, in her spine, right now. I really need Lucy to start getting better because I know she's capable of it. No, she was getting better. And then apparently actually getting better is the wrong thing to do. And is constantly painted as a bad thing to actively try to better yourself. Crazy how there's still some comments holding Paulo's promise over him. Like their goddamn 15-16, it wasn't a business deal and Lucy refused it when he offered. I'm glad they're fine. No, see, here's the thing. Lucy refused it when he offered. This is something I'm going to talk about more in the video, but Lucy constantly tries to protect Mike for some reason. She's always done this. Mike and Lucy have always tried to protect each other to varying degrees of success. We are now finally starting to see a Lucy that has decided to stop protecting Mike. That is why Lucy pulled up to Augustus for like a few seconds saying, Augustus, just stop, right? When he started doing his little tirade. And it's the same reason why Lucy tried to protect Mike when Paulo was willing to stop being friends with him. Glad they're finally framing her as in the wrong, because when Mike was a dick for a time, the double standard was crazy. They talk about Mike attacking others like Lucy, didn't throw metal at friends for being loud. He's damned and seen as a psycho, but all of her actions got ignored because she tried to kill herself. Here's the thing. Even if Lucy is portrayed as objectively wrong for what is about to happen, people will still defend Lucy. And the same thing, too, is that people still defend Mike. Even after all that shit. But people will still defend Lucy and say that she's doing the right thing. Even when it's clearly not the right thing. That's the part that's scary, is that people out there legitimately see Mike or Lucy as like actual role models and people to like. And it's like, no, that's not the point. Paul's being really being denied going to his childhood friend like the 30-40 minutes at the table is everything in the world. This is also why it's so funny that Mike's big plan was, I'm gonna leave our lunch table and everyone's gonna follow me. What the fuck is stopping Lucy from also following them? Like, his plan was so dumb. I know he's a kid, but like, oh my god. I want them to finally acknowledge Lucy's accountability cause bashing Mike as a scapegoat instead of the things he actually did to hurt someone's character. Paulo fans, this is your goat. He once again fails Mike. Lucy looks like a pure evil incarnation here. Oh my god. Wow, I can't believe Mike forced them into this uncomfortable situation. / sarcastic. What's as Lucy glazers gloss over this and refusing to call it manipulation while claiming Mike manipulated Lucy all along because he was in contact with Sandy while being friends with Lucy. See, now this is the misconception here. And I'll talk more about that when I write the video. Oh, why is Lucy a mafia boss now? You know what? I have always said this. I was like, Lucy and Alejandro are not that different. The only difference is that one is male, so he is portrayed as evil, and Lucy is female, so she is portrayed as being a victim. But Lucy and Alejandro are not that different. They both are abusive to their friends. They're both bad. They've got mental health issues, clearly. So yeah, I think Lucy and Alejandro should team up. Not in like a romantic sense, but like in like a gang mafia type deal. This page is so good. I see how the comic is going to wrap back around to Lucy suffering now too. Does Lucy and Mike don't need to suffer anymore. Mike has to deal with Sandy. That's suffering enough. But like, can we stop having them both suffer? Why don't they just you know what they need to do? Mike and Lucy just need to couple suicide. They need to make a suicide pact and just end it. Just be like, we gotta escape this. You gotta escape the Matrix. Love to see the consequences of Paul's actions. My complex character goat. Wow. You know what we're gonna do, chat? Actually, we're gonna go check out the Patreon comments for this page. Let's go check out the Patreon comments. Of course. You know what? You're right. Of course. Of course. What else do you have to say? Actually, true. This is going to be my entire review. This is going to be my review for Line in the Sand. I'm just going to say, of course. And that's the end of the video. Lucy's evil era begins. Some people say it never didn't begin. Some people say it already began. Some people say Lucy was always evil. Robert and some high copium. I want to see Paisley break up. That would make the chapter amazing. True. By this point, it's just got to be them not wanting to be in BCB. They just need to keep looping the suffering. They can find new things to suffer them, cause them to suffer over. Oh, fuck off, Lucy. Wow, that's rude. Where'd all their food go? They're supposed to be at lunch and they don't have any food. Like they weren't... Were they not eating? Were they just sitting down talking? Maybe they already ate. Oh, now she's getting rizzed up and she's getting too big for her britches. Where did their food go? They didn't eat anything. Welp. Washington, BC. Save us, Daisy, your only hope. Save the Soul Society, Daisy. Wow, I like that username. Looks like it's up to Daisy. Right, called it. Oh, geez. These are some very insightful comments. Daisy, please don't. I'm begging. Please don't. Please do. You all seem to forget that Lucy told Paula that she didn't want him to walk away from Mike and is being a huge jerk by suddenly manipulating him. This is true, but I think this also goes back to Lucy just wanting to protect Mike for whatever reason. Even when she is not beholden to protecting Mike. Lucy is not, she does not need to protect Mike. That is true. That's absolutely true, right? So like, she saying for telling Paulo to not like disavow Mike, like, she doesn't have to do that. Like, I'm not even upset that she, if she like, you know, I don't know, but she obviously was just trying to protect Mike for whatever reason. We're also forgetting that Mike just doubled down on blaming Lucy, meaning all of his apologies and talking about reconciliation meant nothing. We are it is Mike's fault, you know. Honestly, Lucy being a bitch is Mike's fault if you think about it. Or the fact that he was trying to lead on James despite having a girlfriend. No. Okay, we're gonna... And Daisy of all people needs to sit down considering she kissed Mike knowing fully he was standing and knew everything. Someone needs to check on Mike, but not Daisy. Okay, let's break this down. Let's break this down, chat. Did Mike crash out? Yes. Mike did have a crash out. But he was being pushed. He was being fucking manipulated. Just like Lucy's manipulating. Blaming Lucy, meaning all of his apologies, talking about reconciliation. No, that's not necessarily true. So let's bring it up. Oh my god. That's an insane way to... So you think Lucy's innocent in all this? You weren't there to see how she treated me. He's not saying that... Like, he is right? Like, I genuinely don't understand how you could be like, oh, it's okay for Lucy to, like, to also apologize and admit she was wrong to Mike, and then turn around and act the way she is, and then turn around and be like, oh, well, when Mike does the same thing, it's wrong, right? It is a double standard. He was trying to lead James on? No. When was he trying to lead James on? Are you talking about date night? He wasn't. And he immediately, like, rejected James. He wasn't leading James on. That's an insane way to view what happened, dude. I know this. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be who checks? Probably Sandy, if I had to guess. Abby, because isn't he sitting with the other group? He's got to see this going on, too. Especially with Augustus now back inside. Oh, dude, you don't even know. The amount of blinders that people at other tables in the cafeteria have is crazy. Bruh, I would take Sue or even Amaya over Daisy. Hell, his sister, Abby, any members of the track team? Not the girl who still had a crush on him through a whole relationship. Break up and caved when he showed the slightest interest. If Daisy goes, it's just going to cause more issues because of her thing with Mike. She doesn't like Mike anymore, though. That's the thing. The reason she kissed Mike was to prove to herself that she didn't have feelings for him anymore. That was the point of that. She didn't kiss Mike because Mike wanted it. She kissed Mike because she's fucking with... Or she wasn't fucking with him, but she was proving to herself. I don't think she would do anything, but I don't think Mike needs to be checked on by the girl he basically cheated on his girlfriend with. It's true. They're right. They're a little confused, but they got the spirit, basically. Okay, my point is that we have no reason to believe anyone else is going to check on him right now, which is what Mike needs. We don't really need that. I actually think... This is what I'll say. It's not really in defense of Freya. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I don't think we should see Mike for the rest of the chapter. I don't think we should see Mike for the rest of this chapter. I think the last time we should see Mike for this chapter, and maybe for a while, I think this should be the last time we see Mike this chapter. I think that should be it. I think that would be more impactful for us to be like, oh my god, what's happening to him right now, than seeing how he's doing right now. This is the one time where I think it is better to not explain and to keep things ambiguous. You know what? I agree with Phantom Man. To us as a viewer, I think we need to sit with that. Yeah. I absolutely don't think we should check back on Mike. And I think Mike should just be alone. I think that's what we need. Okay, my point is that we have no reason to believe anyone else is going to check it right now. Like these, Sue is telling Paulo not to not ask questions. Paulo just backed down. No, Paulo was right to agree with Sue. I don't understand why this is seen as a bad thing. You don't think this is a bad thing. Abby isn't even in this chapter. That's true. None of the other characters have shown any inclination of going out. True, but I don't think the girl he again cheated with should be going to check. What if Mike tries it again because he wants to feel wanted? That is true. That's a real concern. But I think Daisy could kill Mike. You know? I think Daisy could kill Mike. I trust Paul to keep boundaries, but not Daisy. You saying Daisy is not a strong, independent woman that can't hold her own? Mind you, Daisy was the only one in the group to openly agree with how Mike treated Lucy initially. She only flipped because his behavior got worse after Lucy clarified how she felt about it all. Okay, so Paulo showing Lucy he was being serious is important, but also so much changed since then that... But also, Daisy, you never said anything, so go see Mike. She also told him she didn't want him to do it, so she is kind of being a jerk. Yikes, I'm surprised. I didn't think he'd sit back down. Holding someone to their word. I really hope Daisy steers Paulo back in, because wow. This is 100% manipulative and guilt-tripping. Paulo doesn't owe her squat, especially since she especially told him not to drop Mike. Yes, but this is the thing. Lucy felt some sort of, like... She felt some sort of obligation to protect Mike. Right now, she didn't have to tell her friends to avoid Mike, right? There's a middle ground. And Lucy doesn't have to... Like, Lucy was right to say you don't have to drop him or whatever. Or just... What Lucy should have been, like... This is what I mean. It's getting hot in here. What Lucy should have said is, you can do what you want. It doesn't make a difference to me. If you want to drop Mike, then you do it, right? I don't care. Or don't drop him. But she doesn't have to, she never had to actively tell them to not drop Mike, right? I think that's what I've been trying to say. So this thing where she especially told him, I don't think she told him because she, like, out of any sort of love for Mike. Like yes, but I don't know how to express what I'm trying to say properly. She doesn't need to feel obligated to protect Mike, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like, especially now, she felt obligated to protect Mike all those times. So she was telling people to not do the thing that really she shouldn't have been, like, trying to sway them on anyway. Right? But it is manipulative, what she's saying. But I think this is a case of her no longer feeling obliged to protect Mike. Lucy no longer feels obligated to protect Mike. Right? And I think she felt obligated to protect him before. So the pendulum is swinging the other way. So I think that for whatever reason, because she felt obligated to protect him, that's why she said that. And otherwise she wouldn't care. Which is like the neutral position. It is some stretching of the logic. I assume that this is supposed to be like her being manipulative and two-faced about it. Or that's at least what Teshi is intending. But at the same time, I'm also like, she always feels obligated to protect Mike. Even Paulo points it out. Actually, let's just bring it up. I spent way too much time trying to explain what I meant just now. This is why I write. This is why whenever there's like a major event chapter like this, I have to write it as a script. Just say the word seriously. You've got your back, Lucy. Really? Well, then what's about your voice forever? So it is about him. So why are you guys still talking? See? I'll stop being official. Just the word. That's not what I meant. Then what? What is it? That's what you want? No, it's not that. It's just... She is trying to protect him. I think this might be a case of... She was feeling like she had to protect him. So I'm right. So I don't know how manipulative like it is. Like she told him one thing, but like maybe she meant another. Wait, this is not. Is this the? No, this is the page. I just lost my spot. You know what? Fair turnabout. You know what? Turnabout is fair play, Mike. What is? Am I stupid? What does this mean? You know what? Turnabout is fair play, Mike. At least the difference is that Lucy has verbal confirmation that they have her back and not that they assume they will. See, this is the thing right here. This is absolutely true. However, the thing is that Lucy is going to take this too far. That's the thing. That's what's going to be the pendulum that makes Lucy unsympathetic in this situation. Is that she's going to become tyrannical and take this sympathy way too far. And start being really controlling of her friends. And maybe that will be the thing where all of Mike's friends and Mike and Lucy's friends are like, oh, we finally see what Mike was talking about how abusive and vindictive Lucy can be. We just didn't get the brunt of it because she was like latched onto him and pushing that all onto him specifically and not to everyone else. But that would be like overly evil, and I don't think Teshi needs to go that far. I think she just needs for Lucy to become to basically abuse the sympathy her friends are having towards her. She really doesn't. It's pretty clear that Paul's not happy with the decision, and because of that, there's no guarantee he'll keep it up for long. If anything, I think betrayal is inevitable, and that would be worse than just letting him go without comments. Never mind whatever Daisy's thinking here. It probably is, but she did, though. From a few chapters back, Sue and Paulo, in their own ways, made it clear that they'd rather be around Lucy than Make, just based on how he was acting. Then there was the Halloween episode when everyone just had it with him. That's true. I get things happen in between, but the one thing hasn't changed is Mike's insistence that he's innocent in all of this. Yeah, no, is he insistent that he's innocent in all of this? I don't think he is. In fact, quite the opposite. Mike has said that he's an idiot and he's not innocent in all of this. He's constantly apologized. Now, he explained the context because obviously Augustus was being manipulative and not explaining the full context of everything in front of James, which is understandable. But honestly, all Mike had to do would be say... All that Mike had to do would be to say to Augustus, weren't you the one that sexually assaulted our friend Daisy? That's all he had to say, and Augustus would have been Jover. It would have been so Jover. But Mike's stupid. And there goes my respect for Paulo. He shouldn't bend the knee like that. That's 100% manipulative and guilt tripping. I hope Daisy... Didn't I just read that? This guy's just copying and pasting his comment. It was a transparency bullshit offer anyway. Call this bullshit out, Daisy. She's pretty strong. She could just pick up Paulo and carry him outside. True. That's true. That's also why I said she could just kill Mike. Yeah, no, Lucy is dead to me now. Wow. Okay, I don't know if it's quite that bad yet. We don't have to be like Lucy's dead to us. She hasn't gone that bad yet. let's be reasonable. Man, Lucy's such an enigma. It's really hard to like her sometimes. I felt this way about pretty much every character at least once. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point. No, Lucy, no. I get Lucy calling out Paulo for essentially being a hypocrite, but I really wish he stood his ground. Yeah, Paulo is a massive hypocrite. That's the point. He should never have promised her that in the first place. I'm not even really a fan of Mike, but he needs someone badly right now. He really didn't promise or owe her anything. That's what I feel like. He asked, she said no and doubled down, so nothing was kept or made in place. Paula. Why do they keep calling him Paula? Is this like a mistype? No. A and O are nowhere near each other. Why are we calling Paulo Paula? Is this like some in-joke in the official server I don't know about? Like, I know about Paulo, right? Like, there was like an arc that the 4chan threads were doing for BCB where like they were gender bending Paulo, and it's a whole thing. But since she reminded him of it, he probably just took it as her saying the right word right now. Bro is caught between a big tug of war he didn't ask for, and he's trying to navigate as best he can. Maybe autocorrect turns into Paula. Yeah. Rip, that's brutal, but Mike dug the hole so deep that it's really hard to try to defend him, even for Paulo. It's all up to Daisy. I feel like either way, she'll say something back and try to tell Paulo it's okay to do so. Or she'll just go herself, but these are just my thoughts. I don't know if people are saying she's being manipulative. Oh, man. Potat's dragon. Oh, you sweet summer child. Why? Oh, no. Oh, hold up. I need to get rid of this. She's drawing a line in the sand. Oh, there it is. About who's going to be her friend coming back and who's not. He had a choice and he chose to sit back down. It's obvious that Mike and her shouldn't. Okay, no. Okay, so this is a misread on what's happening. This is a misread on what's happening. If you don't think that this is manipulation, you're gonna get walked all over in life. This is textbook manipulation. Come on, dude. Don't have more respect for yourself. You had a choice to put down. Part of it comes down to the fact that literally seconds prior, she gave him the express permission to go see him. It's extremely manipulative. It generally would have been less egregious if she had said the word without giving him the emotional whiplash, allowing him to show his concern before basically telling him to suppress it for her. Not even a matter of Lucy being in the wrong for setting boundaries. She's very much allowed to do that. But this specific way of going about these feelings, explicitly designed to test people's loyalty to either her or Mike, is a really shitty thing to do. True. That's actually a really good way to put this. That's a good way to examine this situation. I mean, to be fair, she is bringing back an empty promise that she herself declined. Then tells him to go see him and immediately hits him with the promise he never agreed to after she declined. Does he actually promise it? No, he doesn't. Paulo never promises it. If anything, I feel like Paulo said this so that she would open up to him. That's not what I meant. Then what? What is it? He never actually promised. So, yeah. But she bring back empty promise this year's upon. He didn't promise anything. He never agreed to it. I understand your point is good that Mike and Lucy having the same mutuals wouldn't work out because only drama at the table. So how to make sense that is basically who sides with who. Honestly, I think all of their friends should abandon them. I think Mike and Lucy's friends should just abandon them because they're too much fucking trouble. Like, both of these guys are the drama king and queen of the school. They should just get away from both of them. I agree that Lucy wasn't necessarily wrong for wanting people to make a choice, given that Mike just comforted about what he did. Still entirely blaming her, not owning that he's whipped her around emotionally at every point, at every opportunity. Once again, within the context of what happened, it makes sense for him to react the way that he did. So while I don't... Because what this is... Also, Mike did this as well. But what it is basically whataboutism, right? And I hate whataboutisms. Doing a whataboutism is basically saying I have no way to defend myself. And I'm going to deflect. And that seems to be like a lot of what Lucy and Mike fans do, is they pull whataboutism. So what about Lucy did this, or oh, well, Mike did this. What about when Mike did this? It's like, you don't understand. So you're both agreeing both characters are shitty. That's what we're learning from this. And I think that's the point of all of this. People probably remember when Paulo initially said that he dropped Mike as a friend if Lucy asked. At the time, she said not to do that. She said he shouldn't drop Mike as a friend. Since then, Mike and Paul developed a closer relationship, and Paulo has likely grown more distant than before with Lucy. Understandable. Now Lucy is calling in that old promise, and us readers know what has happened to everyone in the intervening time since then. Some of us are judging as if they all know and remember the same things we do. Oh wait, no, Lucy also knows that Sandy was cheating on Mike. But I guess calling out Gus's would be what about us too? Yeah, it is true, but it would have worked. It would have worked really good. I think that would have worked better because, one, Daisy is still a very sensitive spot for Augustus. I think calling Augustus out for like manipulating Daisy and doing all that stuff, that would have brought him to his fucking knees. Like, he would have been the one to freak out. And there would be no way to defend it. Because what Augustus did was way worse than whatever Mike was allegedly being accused of doing. Physically, like, the manipulation, the overt manipulation and physically assaulting someone. Like, yeah. And, at the same time, keep this in mind. Okay. Daisy also knows that Augustus has been working with Alejandro, but hasn't told anyone. Daisy and Lucy both know Augustus was working with Alejandro and has ties to him, and they haven't told Paulo or Sue. And Mike also doesn't know this. To me, Lucy's trying to call Paulo being a hypocrite on how quick he switches up. I honestly think it's pretty lamer to guilt him after the interaction went negative with them and Paulo got closer to Mike. What I believe is Lucy didn't want Paulo to drop Mike because she says so. That's true, but she doesn't. But that's, if this is what Lucy wanted, she didn't want Paul to drop Mike because she said so. She should have just said, you can do whatever you want, right? That's what she should have said. But because she didn't say that, it's because she had this weird obligation. She felt like she had this weird obligation to protect Mike. Because I'm married twice, that'll be the right thing. But bringing it up here now just makes her look manipulative. That's a tactic to make someone feel bad and not question them. This just feels like a personal attack towards Mike because she has now the idea reinforced that Mike should go through it after what Augustus pushed on Mike. But to me, it just feels like Lucy is pulling old habits. This is like stringing Paulo to make him feel on edge, just giving him the mindset when someone has to stay and the other go for good. I wonder if Lucy actually thought Paulo would sit back down like that. What if she meant as a Barb's parting shot, 100% expecting him still to go Mike, hence the go see him comment. Yeah, he didn't sit down for Lucy. He sat down for Sue. He literally says it in the comic. I don't know why you guys can't read the comic. It's like nobody here is reading anything. We know she has serious abandonment trust issues, so jumping to the assumption that Paulo is going to choose Mike and being upset he told her otherwise in character for her. I think she's actually worked on those abandonment and trust issues. I think Lucy has gotten a lot better about that, actually. I genuinely believe Lucy's gotten better about that. Me before reading the page, 30 comments in 15 minutes, that can't be good. Me after reading the page, icky. This is the best comment. AU where everyone gets therapy win. There's the kind of unspoken subtext implication that Lucy was/is in therapy at some point. What I would give to see one of the main 4 kids in therapy in a chapter. I think the main reason Lucy isn't over her biggest issues here is because I don't believe she or any of the kids ever told anyone about what happened in confrontation. She may have gotten therapy for a relationship with Mike, her self-worth, and depression, etc., but not for her PTSD. Her having flashbacks and nightmares right around this time seems to suggest she's still severely affecting her. Yikes, Lucy, this is not it. Youch, holy smokes, comment section. How's it going in your gang? Daisy, go outside, please. Yeah, go outside, touch grass, Daisy. Go touch grass. Word choice matters. People say the word means tell me at any point. Wait. Say the word means tell me at any point in time. Just because she refused before doesn't mean she changed her mind. So she changed. Oh. Oh. That is true. She was calling Paulo's bluff. That is true. This person's absolutely correct. So maybe it's not manipulation. It'd be different. He only asked, do you want to stop your fight? And she said no. Then he had no opposition. This is why people need to think before they say things. There's really no winner here. It's a bad situation all around. Yet no kidding. That's the whole comic. It's a bad situation all around. This is the best way to describe BCB. Then he has no obligation to doing any further. It'd be different if you only asked, do you want me to stop being friends with Mike? But here's the problem. This is true, but the issue is that, once again, Mike never encouraged any of his friends to stop being friends with Lucy. He never was going to force them to pick a side. He just assumed that they would, but he wasn't going to force the issue. And what Lucy is doing is forcing people to pick a side. And like encouraging or discouraging her friends to do certain things. That is the problem. That is what is going to make Lucy not sympathetic. I don't think Lucy will feel happy at the table still. These friendships are going to feel so fake. Yeah, no kidding. So only Lucy's allowed to change her mind. Gotcha. Reddit Mike fans. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is, chat. Oh god, I can only imagine how bad Redditors are about Mike. Even as someone who overall likes Mike and hopes he gets better at a point in his life, he has made a lot of mistakes in his life he needs to answer for. He's not innocent, not a paragon, and far from infallible. See, this is the problem. These people are not going to look into it themselves. They're just going to take the word of this guy who, granted, I haven't seen every single post, but just looking at this post, this is not rancid. If this person, obviously this person actually couldn't have seen this post at the time, so that's not a fair comparison. But if this is indicative of the other posts, this is not rancid. Please go step outside of your hug box and touch grass, Steven. Like, this is not that bad. There's probably maybe some bad stuff on here. We got this. He had thoughts about making OC maybe a shall. Okay, I take that back, Steven. That was uncalled for. I'm sorry, Steven. I shouldn't have said that to you. But it's not rancid. I vehemently disagree. But also the problem is that these people are not going to look into it, and it's going to cause a more division in the community is the problem. The BCB's biggest problem, let me finish this. He's not innocent, not a paragon, and far from infallible. Is that what any of these people are saying, though? Retcon. Matrix is my favorite trans metaphor. Does it count as trans Mike content? Oh my god, 59 comments. Do you know what's funny? People all around the community, like, they agree more than they disagree. But because nobody wants to be the one to stick their head over the parapet and look, everyone just assumes these, like, overly negative things about other people. And I know that I have done that. I'm sorry. And I shouldn't. I'm wrong for that. But this idea, I'm guessing it's a lot more black and white mentality, which is just not how this comic operates, is hilarious when there are so many people in the Patreon comments that do the exact thing they are accusing other parts of the community of doing. Like, yes, there are biases depending on where you go. I don't know too much about how people in the Reddit feel, right? I know about the co-threads, the BCB 4chan threads, and I know they're very biased towards Mike. I know that people that are banned from the official Discord tend to be very biased towards Mike, and people that aren't banned are very biased towards Lucy. But it's not, it is black and white, but it's not. It just depends on where you go. But to sit here in our own echo chamber and say, boy, those other guys just think black and white, they don't think as smart as me. Like, dude, what are we doing here? You're literally doing the thing you're accusing other people of doing. I've seen multiple people in the subreddit say Lucy is as bad as Alejandro. I have also said this, but mostly as a joke. I'm mainly joking about that. They are to her. She dropped them all. No matter how they try to reach her, she is joining the table to get Augustus' friends on the other table to hurt Mike. Can you point out where I said that? Paulo can change. Wait, what? Oh, Paulo can change his mind, but he's a huge hypocrite for it. That doesn't mean he can't still do it. He can. It's his choice. That's why I said think before you speak. Don't say things you don't mean or will regret later. But the thing too is that Lucy was extremely two-faced towards her friends when she first came back. Remember how Lucy was like, ah, fuck my old friends. I don't fuck with those guys. Fuck them. Oh, I'm so glad I got away from my old friends. Remember that? Remember when Lucy was acting like that? But that's also whataboutism, right? Like, it's all fucked. I think all these characters are really toxic and people should stay away from them. Well, it's a Reddit, so I don't expect much. Coping about what, though? We're just discussing our personal opinions on the situation. No one is 100% right or wrong here. It's just how relationships work. That's true. Yeah, I mean, true. There you go, Vito. He would not, in fact... Wow, there's so many comments. Okay, oh my god, there's so many. Okay, I could go... Oh my god, there's so many. It just keep... Yeah, I don't have time. I don't have time to read all this. I've gone on way longer than I'm supposed to. We're gonna wrap stream up. Thank you, by the way, everyone, for showing up and watching me make a fool of myself. I could literally go on all day, but I do have videos I have to edit. And let's see, transform, put the screen. But it's been fun. It's always nice to get to have see all the different perspectives in the community. As someone that is like banned, like I try. One of the things about the Fanel is that it's supposed to be like a bridge between people that are banned and the people that aren't. It's supposed to be like a kind of like a watering hole. In nature, watering holes are generally, there's like this unspoken rule between all the animals where nobody fights at the watering hole. Everyone comes there to get something to drink, but once you're outside of the area of the water hole, it's fair game. And that's what I want the Fanel to be. You can join the Discord. I want it to be a bridge where people who want to be exposed to different opinions can come there and not have to worry about some sort of weird expectation from other people or from specifically moderators to speak about the comic in a certain way or to have certain opinions. And I think BCB's biggest problem is that the community is fractured. Now, I don't know what kind of people are on the Reddit because I've been very busy. My schedule is opening up wide up going for the next few months, so I'll have more time. But just from my experience between the 4chaners and what little time I spent in the official Discord and the people that I've interacted with from the official Discord, they're two sides of the same coin. They can take anything and make it any sort of way. They can paint it in any sort of light. And I think it would be great if we could all just talk together to come to a better, more fulfilling understanding of the comic instead of making assumptions, which I have also done even in this stream, and it's not good, and I apologize. I need to be better than that, and I'm trying to be better about that. But yeah, That's oh god. That's all I wanted to say. So you guys are more than welcome to join the Fanel Discord. Thank you so much for showing up to do puzzles. Puzzles are always fun. And I'm very much looking forward to working on this video. Like, obviously I have a lot to say about this chapter. And I try not to let like outside opinions influence. I do allow for people's point of views to help me better understand things, to connect all the pieces together, because it is possible, speaking of puzzles, it is possible to think that you have all the pieces that make up a picture and not even realize that you are missing some pieces that can make a more complete, fuller picture. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna save this puzzle. Thank you to who's in here right now? Oh geez. Thank you to Derpy Lion Face for working on this puzzle in the background. We're gonna call it there. You guys have a wonderful day, and remember to stick to your guns. You know, the best thing you can do is, if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.